Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's press briefing being held by the Ministry of Tourism and Transport and its partners. I'm Donna Bush. As always, we're very glad that you could join us here today on our various CIG channels as well as on Radio Cayman. Now, today's press briefing will provide you with details on the relaunch of the national airlines flights, our route to Panama. We'd like to welcome our panelists, starting with the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, Minister for Tourism and Transport, Mr. Fabian Werns, the President and CEO of Cayman Airways Limited, and Mr. Chris Bergstrom, the Deputy Chairman of the Cayman Airways Board. Also with us in studio are members of the media and senior civil servants, as well as Cayman Airways officials. We'd like to kick off first by going to the Minister for Tourism and Transport.
Thank you, Donna, and good morning to everyone joining us at home, on social media, and here in the studios for this press conference. I've called this conference today alongside our tourism partners from Cayman Airways to make a very important announcement, which I think most of us may have a good idea by now, regarding the expansion of our air services. I'm delighted to confirm that Cayman Airways will resume its operations and its nonstop service between Grand Cayman and Panama City, starting on Monday, the 26th of June. This is the second major launch between Grand Cayman and the major international gateway in just 6 months. It was only just in July of last year that we were all gathered here to announce the launch of the Los Angeles route. And I'm here today, and I'm very pleased to bring you the country yet more exciting news about this new route to Panama. Noting that this is a resumption of service, I would like to say a few words on why we made the decision to move forward with this expansion into the Latin American market at this time. Last year, I set the Department of Tourism a target to bring 40% of the 2019 air arrivals to our shores. I'm very pleased to confirm that the Department of Tourism has surpassed that target, as well as their stretch goal target by an impressive 11%, meaning that we ended the year with 84,000 more people than we targeted. Although stayover arrivals are trending upwards, our tourism industry continues to be in a phase of recovery, and it will take some time for our stayover arrivals visitations to return to the pre-pandemic levels. Notwithstanding, for 2023, I've set the target of 70% of the 2019 visitor numbers, which equates to approximately 351,000 visitors. I'm hopeful that the new Grand Cayman to Panama City route will be a significant contributor to that achievement of that goal. If the pandemic has taught us one thing, is that we need to do more to attract visitation from secondary markets to supplement our tourism industry, resilience, and visitation from the United States, as well as our research and our marketing data providing significant justification for relaunching this route. From a tourism perspective, we believe the service to Panama will provide the Cayman Islands with many other benefits. For example, the free trade zone in Colon, which is located less than 50 miles from Panama City, is the largest free port in the Americas. It is dedicated to re-exporting a wide variety of goods and merchandise from Panama to Latin America and the Caribbean. There are more than 3,000 established companies in the zone, representing an attractive option for travelers from a trade and business perspective. 2, there are several Caymanian companies which conduct business through Panama. Having the convenient option for transporting products could lead to the reduction in cost of living for many Caymanians and would allow Cayman Airways to benefit from the sale of seats and cargo. This strategic move, both from a tourism and business perspective. 3, based on our statistics provided from the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism, in 2022, our islands received a total of 6,498 visitors from the Latin American market. This amounted to just 2,500 people less than in 2019, which saw 8,947 people visiting from the market in that year. With the direct service available to travelers, we're anticipating seeing more positive growth from this region. The relaunching of the Panama service, along with the recent introduction of the LAX route, fulfills my ministry's objectives to expand into new markets and grow visitation outside of the Cayman Islands' typical source markets. This move also showcases our work towards fulfilling our broad outcomes number 10 of the government's strategic policy statement, which seeks to 1. Expand into emerging markets and secondary tourism markets. 2. To market to high net worth visitors. And 3. To expand Cayman Airways routes. The Panama City route fulfills those objectives and will serve as a gateway from the surrounding Latin American markets such as Brazil, Argentina, and Colombia, making it easier for travelers from those regions to access our beautiful country. Our announcement today represents another significant accomplishment in the partnership between the Ministry, Department of Tourism, and Cayman Airways. I would like to acknowledge everyone involved in their efforts to bring this route back into effect, particularly, though, the management and the staff at Cayman Airways, who have worked extremely hard to have this service up and running in a relatively short time. Given the significance of tourism to our economy, we are fortunate to have Cayman Airways as a national airline and tourism partner. I offer my sincere thanks to them and all their dedication to these islands in respect to the tourism product. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minister Bryan. We're now going to go to the CEO and President of Cayman Airways Limited, Mr. Fabian Worms.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to give a little bit of information to supplement the Minister's good introduction as to why we're going to Panama. But the information I'd like to give has to do with what our schedule and flight times will be. We will be operating to Panama on a twice weekly service. It will be on Mondays and Thursdays. We're timing our flights to arrive in Panama round about midday, spend an hour and 30 minutes on the ground, and then come back to Cayman. What this does is it puts us right in that sweet spot for connections. So this means connections inbound to Cayman that would take place in Panama, and connections for passengers leaving Cayman going elsewhere, connecting in Panama. So the timing of the flight on any given day is very strategically done to create these connections. So serving Panama is not just about serving Panama. The Cayman Airport is one of the best hubs in the world when it comes to connectivity and in-transit travel. When I say in transit, this particular airport is actually designed that if your bags are already checked all the way through and you have a boarding pass, you do not have to land in Panama from an immigration perspective. You can simply walk from one gate to the other gate and board your flight. We are partnering with Copa Airlines. Copa is the Panamanian national airline, and Cayman Airport is their hub. Copa itself is a significant part of the United Airlines network, and their connectivity throughout Latin and Central and South America, Latin America in general, is phenomenal. So we have been speaking with them for some time. We had a relationship with them before when we were in Panama, and it's just a matter of resuming that relationship. So I think the residents of the Cayman Island, as well as new visitors to the Cayman Islands, can look forward to this now brilliant hub to connect. And it goes beyond just Latin America, even Europe, almost every corner of the globe. Panama serves as a really, really, really good hub. We're in the process now of reducing some of our frequencies to some of what we may consider our core gateways. One such gateway is Havana. We're not pulling out of Havana, but we're reducing our frequencies. And what this is doing is it's giving us the extra capacity that, or available capacity that we can use towards a flight like Panama. So the ministry's interest and the Department of Tourism's interest in Panama at this time was actually quite timely. We were very happy to dust off the business case that we had done in 2011 before we commenced service in 2012. We operated to Panama before seasonally during the summer seasons between 2012 and 2015. All of those flights covered what we called our variable costs, which meant they made a contribution to our fixed costs or overheads. So those flights were not loss-making flights. So we're not going into this venture with anything like thinking about a potential loss operating the route on our minds. We're very confident that it will cover its costs again. The reason why we discontinued Panama in 2015 was because at that time we also launched our Dallas service. And Dallas was a service that was a very strategic tourism service. And we needed to ensure that with the old fleet that we had, the 737-300 aircraft, we needed to ensure that we had the reliability and redundancy within our fleet in order to make Dallas succeed. So something had to give within our schedule. And we worked closely with the government at that time to decide what part of our schedule, strategic or core, would be reduced so that we could continue with our efforts now as a lever of economic growth, driving tourism in the Cayman Islands. What was more important? And at that time, Dallas came out ahead. Our Dallas route was successful. It's subsequently now being served by other carriers. And as we always do, as Cayman Airways always does, we are always the first to start a route and do our best to make the route viable. And once it becomes viable, then it becomes attractive at times to other carriers. And when they come in, if it's not feasible for us to coexist, then we repeat the process. We look for another new route in order to help drive tourism within the Cayman Islands. There are some other benefits to Panama when we speak about tourism, because it's not just the typical leisure tourist. Cayman is a very developing country when it comes to the issue of offering health services. So health tourism is something that is quite significant, and it's growing more and more all the time. So we do know that we do get a lot of tourism here now in the form of health tourism from Latin and Central America. So we expect now that with this service, we're actually creating an environment that will allow that sector of our tourism product to grow even more, because Cayman now becomes more accessible to provide these services. So all in all, I think based on the times that we've chosen and the days of week, it's going to be Mondays and Thursdays, and we intend to now operate it year-round in this instance. There may be a reduction in service when it comes to what we call our shoulder or slow periods, but that reduction might be from 2 frequencies to 1. But that at this point is not a given. That is a contingency, in that if the demand is there to support the 2 flights, we will continue with the 2 flights. So I think that about sums up a clear picture of why Cayman Airways is happy to engage in doing the route, and what our projections are in terms of whether or not the route will succeed. And I think we could maybe have our deputy chair add a few more words on behalf of Cayman Airways.
Mr. Bergstrom, do you have something to say, or do you want to wait for
Sure.
a question and answer?
Thank you very much, CEO, and to the Minister for allowing this platform to launch the Panama route and share with our viewers the exciting news. The board is really tasked by the ministry and by the government to take care of the projected outlook for where the airline is going to go. And it's very important to this board and my fellow board members that we are able to work hand in hand with the management and with the minister and his team in the ministry to all have a common goal and pull together. As the minister mentioned, this is part of our growth plan for the airline. It is very timely, as the CEO has said, so we're very excited to launch this service. The great thing about having new equipment, it provides us with a high level of reliability, but it also provides us with a much bigger area of opportunity in which we can operate. So I look forward to many exciting things to come from the airline, and Panama is just one step in that path.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bergstrom, and again to Minister Bryan and Mr. Worms.